we never met. Forever leaves fast in the middle of the night. Forever breaks my heart and never says goodbye. Days and nights, skin and bone, I'm still here, but you moved on. I live inside an old photograph. I wish that I could feel your love again. So I live inside that old photograph. And I wish that I could feel your love again. Forever falls in love with the guy that wears sweater vests. She used to be mine, but now it's like we never met. Forever leaves fast in the middle of the night. Forever breaks my heart and never says goodbye.
Hello, 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 civilization. This is the Outer Ayrshire Broadcast Corporation calling you. Can you hear me and see me? I'm not sure if I'm looking at the right camera. I've got two cameras set up tonight. Oh, and I've got a second screen. Let me turn that off so I don't confuse myself. I've got two cameras set up tonight just in case the same problem happens that happened last week. So this is the one that I'll be using mainly. But if this one goes down, I'll be switching over to this one. So I can do that whole thing. I just thought of it just now there. I can do that. Can you do the... No, I can't, because I need to go... No. Never mind. Nonsense. Right. Okay, so I'm turning everything off now. Right. Let me get my camera back up. Which one was on? This one? Right, 14. Right, that one off. So, okay, so there's the one I'm talking to now. I do believe this is the camera that I'm talking to. Yes. So I'm just going to check and make sure that everybody can see me and hear me. If someone can give me a thumbs up to let me know or tell me in the chat that I'm broadcasting loud and clear, visually and audially. Audially? Is that even a word? I don't know. Right. While I wait for somebody to tell me that everything's all right, Mark, are you saying what because you can't understand what I'm saying? Is it all over the place? All is good. Scott, thank you very much. I do trust you too. Probably only two people I trust, Mark and Scott. Right, thanks Gerard. Okay, before we get started tonight, I'll say a few wee hellos. Hello, first of all, to Graham Wright, who, if I can up, there you go, who I believe has just been, as a new member, welcome to Ground Obstacle Avoidance. Thanks very much for becoming a member, Graham. You now have access to all the behind the scenes videos, all the videos that I don't push out to the main channel for various reasons. Reasons that if I put them out in the main channel, they might get me in a bit of trouble. Not all of them, but some of them might. And also, Graham, I'd like to say thanks very much for that wee thing, you know, and the wee thing inside the thing, which was a big thing. Thanks very much for that. I do appreciate it. Angel Station says it's windy here in Start Idaho, but sunny. Off to mow my estate. You have an estate. Right, stay tuned then, because I might have something interesting for you if you have an estate. Peter Mulder from The Hague says hello and I'm here and waiting. Right, and Peter also said, and here's a good thing, an interesting thing, push that thumbs up button, right? You know, the wee one with the thumbs up, that'll be awful nice of you. I currently have, and I can look at it now because I'm getting good at this, 24 concurrent viewers and I don't know how many likes, 10 likes. So less than half of you like what you're watching, which is strange because you're here watching it. So why wouldn't you like it? Unless you're from the CAA trying to catch me out in something. or unless you're an auditor just going to troll me later on. That's fine. I get a lot of that. Okay, who else? Cyril popped in and said, good evening. Good evening to you, Cyril. I am well-ish. Not bad. And then Scott is watching the Masters while he hangs out for a little bit. Mickey Moore Productions, who is now a member, and you can tell because Mickey Moo has a little drone icon next to the name Mickey Moo Productions. You can see that. Here we go. Jay, who is about to put his show on at 10 p.m. tonight at torbay.com. I think that's right. Did I get pamtorbay.com, internet radio. Al McNeish says, good evening, everybody. And Gerard McGlinchey says, good evening, Robert and everybody. Stevie F, who is a member of the channel. You can tell that by the little icon of the drone right there. And Windswept Robert says, an hour of nonsense. Hello, Windswept Robert. How you doing? I hope you're the real one and not the fake one. Right, there's Mark trying to get his bearings and work out what the hell's going on. Okay, so I've got Sneaky Sweno in here as well, who gave me a wave, I think. A wave to Sneaky Sweno. So I waved back to you. Maverick's drone is stuffing his face with half a tub of vanilla ice cream. You're putting me right in the mood there. I've got some cornettos in an ice bag in the back. I might go and get some of them in a wee while. Right. DJI Mini 3 Pro footage says you're not doing a live 360 video. No, I still haven't worked out how to do that yet, even if it can be done. Well, it can be done, but there are a few hurdles to overcome, and I'll be talking about them in a little bit in tonight's show. I'll be talking about that. And the weather's not very good. Actually, I went out earlier today to try and get some footage of the south part of Loch Doon, including the castle and the original site of the castle, which is now a little island. But I got halfway to Loch Doon, halfway to the loch, and the heavens opened, the rain came down, and it didn't look like it was going to stop. So I turned around and came back. So I didn't get a chance to get out today. Well, I got out, but I didn't get a chance to get any footage. And the other thing, I've been looking into the idea of doing a 360 live. And although it can be done, there are problems, as I said, and I'll speak about that very soon, because that's going to be tonight's topic, talking about the 360. I want to go on and talk about some of the editing part of it, because I didn't get to that last week, and I've had, you wouldn't believe the number of emails and messages and DMs on my Discord channel asking me about the editing process. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about that tonight. Okay, there's Ray Butt says it's windy and rainy here in Newfoundland, much like the weather here. Aye. Russ T5 says evening from Yorkshire. And Jay is asking if I'll feature Dalbeatty. Yes, I've got a plan to do that. You can't see my. I've got, maybe if I turn that camera a wee bit. That's my board. That's my ideas board just there, Jay. And Dalbeatty is on it. I'm going down to Dumfries. Jeez, I'm all over the place here now. Look, see you, Ray, Jay. Right, I'm going down to Dumfries. Me and the wee are going to take a wee trip down to Dumfries. When the weather gets a bit better, we're working on a story at the moment about the Spitfire that crashed into Loch Doon. So we're heading down to Dumfries soon. Well, depending on the weather. And when I'm down that way, I'll either do a live from Dalbeatty, or I will capture some footage from down there. So I know I've been promising that for over a year now, but this year I'm going to be doing it. Right, Maverick's drone says there's 11 thumbs up now. Is there? Wait, and I'll just check on that. I've got 29 people in and 20 thumbs up. That's a lot better. Thanks very much. Paul has just joined the live stream. Have I missed much? Paul. This is the Windswept Robert live stream. No, you haven't missed anything. And even if you came in at 59 minutes after 7, you wouldn't have missed much, okay? I think you know that by now. Right, so that's me up to date with the chat. I don't have an agenda tonight, nothing at all. Excuse me. I just thought that I would try to speak a little bit about the stuff that I didn't manage to speak about last week because I ran out of time. And I'll have a little bit of extra time this week because I don't have any memberships to give away, because the 10 free memberships that I give away are monthly. And you get 10 a month, and I gave them away last week, which was the first week of the month. So I won't have any more to give away until May, the first weekend in May, and when I'll be giving another 10 away. So I've got a little bit extra time because I don't have to do that tonight. And here's another thing I did want to just briefly touch on, as Mark has said there, no Avata 2. Some people call it Avata, like I just did. Some people call it Avata, right? I don't like calling it Avatar because that sounds a bit like the movie Avatar. So I call it the Avata for some reason. No unboxing, no. And I did want to mention to any of my viewers and anyone in the chat tonight who has an Avata, the original Avata, are you having buyer's regret now? Because the Avata 2 is out, and that's not long. You know, it's no long period of time has passed since the Avata was out. I've had a look at quite a lot of the videos of the people that got them early and have now released the videos testing them and showing them off. I am not one of those. I'm not a big enough creator or whatever to get anything like that. But I have watched not all of the other creators, but I've watched a lot of them. And what I have to say about it, my opinion on the Avata 2, is that it looks like it has fixed all of the problems, or at least the problems that I'm aware of that are with the original Avata. It seems to have fixed most of those problems, and that's about it really. A few upgrades, 04 instead of 03 I think the Avata came with. If it's 04, it's supposed to be a little bit better signal. The one thing I will say that I wouldn't be getting an Avata. I have the DJI FPV and I never fly them. I never fly laddie. So I think it would be a complete waste of time if I go to the Avata 2. Although there was one thing that I thought was very interesting about the Avata 2, and one of the things that may put a lot of people off of flying FPV, it may now be alleviated with the Avata 2, and that is the fact that you can actually see a view of the real world while you have the goggles on, because it's two cameras on the outside. So I suppose it's a bit like the Quest 3, which has cameras on the outside and can see the real world. So you can actually have picture-in-picture so that you can see around you in real time as you look. Well, it'll be delayed by about 0.2 of a microsecond or something like that. 0.2. I have a microsecond or whatever it is. But it's a real view. Which then means that you don't need a spotter if you can actually see, keep your eye on the drone while you're flying. Whereas with the Avata and with the DJI FPV, if you're wearing the goggles, you're required by the regulations to have a spotter with you. And I know that makes it very difficult and is a complete turn off for people to buy any of the DJI FPV drones. So the Avata, that should make it a bit more interesting to people. For me, it's not any more interesting. If I want to do any FPV, I'll just take Laddie out and do some FPV with that. FPV with that, but I'm not really interested in doing the acrobatics and the rolls and the spins and the turns. So because I've got the Mavic 3, the camera on that is far superior to the Avata 2's camera. So, you know, for me, it's there's nothing there for me. But for those of you who have an Avata and really enjoy it, I wonder, will you upgrade to the Avata 2, and will you sell your Avata on, or what will you do? the only person that I know that has an Avata, my viewers anyway, is Mark, Exile FPV. I know that you have an Avata, and you also have a DJI FPV. So I wonder, are you considering selling your original Avata and getting the Avata 2, Mark, or is that not something? The PIP, I think that's the picture-in-picture, is horrible if you check out the videos that I've showed it. I've seen some videos, Mark, where the picture-in-picture looks really good. But once again, as you all know, many creators will edit their videos to show the best of whatever product it is that they have been given to review. For obvious reasons, they want the next one, so they're going to make things look as good as they can. You know me, I don't do any of that. I show things as they are. I haven't actually seen any PIP picture-in-picture shots that are bad. If you can maybe link them in, I'd be interested in having a look at them, just for curiosity, nothing else. But the ones that I have seen, they do look very good. However, I do have a Quest 3. I have a Quest 3, and I know that I forget what they call it, the view when you look and you see your surroundings. It's not great. It's better than the Quest 2. I've got a Quest 3. It's better than the Quest 2, but it's still not terrific. It's fuzzy and washed out, and it's not. But you can read text on your phone with it, but it's not the greatest. I'm wondering if the Avata 2 will even be as good as the Quest 3. Certainly on the videos that I've watched, it looks crystal clear. It looks 4K picture in a 4K picture. But, these are creators that have been given the DJI Avata. So obviously they're not going to show the reality of it. Okay, anyway. I'm going to be doing quite a lot of referring to the comments tonight because, as I said, I don't have an agenda. I do want to talk about this, and I want to talk about the editing procedure, and I want to talk about another few things here, but I don't have an agenda, so I'll be looking at the comments quite a lot. So Maverick's Drone has a question here. Well, hold on, before we get to that. Scott says, well, there's a few people have popped in. Let me say hello. So hello to Caroline. Good evening to you. Maverick's Drone makes a good point. The tube is full of them vying for views and likes now regarding Avata 2 juggles. We kind of knew that was going to happen, didn't we, Mick? It always happens. It's the same players. The ones that are given the video, the products are way ahead of time, giving them a month or two to create a video and wait, and then the day of release, that's when the NDA that you've signed allows them to post. So they all post at the same time. And they're all pretty much the same. I've watched 3 or 4 of them, and that's enough for me. I've seen enough. I've seen everything that it can do. I've seen all the specifications, and I know that it's not for me. It's just not for me. It may be for a lot of people, but it's not for me. Button Moon says, hi from Somerset, lovely calm weather down here today. That's good. So did you get out and do a wee bit of flying? That would be good if you had. It was fairly calm here, but a bit of a wind, but there always is. But when I went out, the rain came down. Now I could have flown. It wasn't a really heavy rain, and I could have flown, and I was considering doing it, but I decided not to because the videos I'm doing at the moment, and I will be for a little while. I don't know if I'll be doing this permanently. It depends on how well the videos are received. But if you've noticed that the past couple of videos that I've released have been dual videos, if you like. I've been releasing 2 at the same time. One of the footage from the drone itself, and one from this 360 camera, which is attached to the bottom of the drone. And I'm going to be doing that for a wee while yet. I'll be releasing 2 videos at a time for the next few weeks at least, until I can see, are people interested in this? And if they are, I'll keep doing it. And if they're not, then I'll probably stop and I'll do something else. But the reason I decided not to go out in the rain is I thought, well, if the rain starts smacking against this lens here and not the back lens, it's going to possibly make the 360 very distorted. And if the rain hits the camera of the drone, it's going to make everything look distorted too. So that there was I wasn't particularly worried about any damage to the drone. I've had drones out in the rain before, and it doesn't do them much harm. But it was just that the footage, I wouldn't be able to capture any footage because of the rain, so I decided not to. Right, I'm waffling a wee bit tonight. I'm sorry about that. I've got a kidney infection and I'm on medication again, and it's making me a wee bit like that. Don't know why I told you that. Right, Maverick's drone asks, will there be a 4K or a 1080p 360 camera view scenario in edit post-flight anytime? I'm going to be speaking about that tonight. That's one of the things that I do want to speak about, because I have been doing a lot of research on it, because there are a lot of people really like the 360 videos that I'm doing. There are some people, it's not that they don't like them. I'll show you a couple of comments. I have to say that the majority of the comments, at least 90% of the comments that I have had on my 360 videos are positive. People enjoy the 360 videos. They like spinning around themselves. They like being able to look and see things that I may have missed as I was flying. And everyone understands that the quality, the resolution, isn't going to be 4K, because it's not just that, it's that, and you can't have all. I mean, it records at 5.7K, but that's the 360. Whatever view you're looking at is only 1080, and it's even worse than that, because when I've been uploading them to YouTube has been, I don't know what the word is, breaking, or I don't know what the word is, but they've been putting them out at only 720. That's YouTube that's doing that, not me. I'm uploading them at 4K, which means it's 1080, and YouTube is restricting them to 720, which is fine if you're watching them on a phone or even a small iPad. But once you get to a monitor, even 720 doesn't look all that great. It's okay, but it's not great. But then when you move on to a big television, it's just, it's no good. But there's nothing I can do about that. Well, I say there's nothing I can do about it. There's a couple of things I'm going to be trying on my next few videos. I'm going to be changing the frame rate. At the moment, I tried recording some in 60 frames per second. I also tried recording in 30 frames per second, and I'm going to try recording in 24 frames per second, just to see if when I upload them, if YouTube will allow them to go to 1080, which will make a difference, and it'll make them look a bit better. I don't know about that, so I'm still working on things. But as I was saying there, most people are enjoying them, and I think everyone understands that the resolution isn't too good. But I have had a couple of comments I'm going to show you now. If I switch over to the screen, I've had a couple of comments, not bad comments, but for example, let me see if I can find one. Well, there's one. Scottish Droner has said, not keen on the 360 view, the quality is down on normal drone images, which is absolutely correct. It is. I mean, my reply there was either has to be a trade-off to allow the viewer to spin the view. And there was another one, just another one comment. Here we go. What's that? Composed Light 6850, I think it is. Can't really see it there. Good experiment. The 360 view, very good, but for the quality, when it gets up to the drone camera standard, it's the way to go. And I've said it will never get to that standard. There has to be some compromise, but I'm working on little tweaks to improve the quality. So out of all of the comments that I've had, I've only had two. They're not negative comments. They're just people saying, "Well, the quality's not all that good," and everyone knows the quality's not that good, right? So I think I've managed to offset that by also producing the exact same flight using the 4K camera from the drone itself. So although you don't get to spin the view in that one, at least you get to see a much clearer view of the flight. Now, quite a few people have suggested if you have multiple monitors, watching the two videos at the same time, that's not a bad idea because you'll get the real nice clarity of the drone camera, and it also gives you the opportunity to say, "Oh, what was that? We just went past," to spin round in the other one and have a little look behind to see what it was that you just flew past. Not at the same resolution, but you can still do it. So that was my idea when I decided that I wanted to produce these dual videos. And as far as the comments have been going, it is being appreciated. And I appreciate all you guys who have left comments saying that you're enjoying it. Because that means I'm going to go and I'm going to make more and more and more. Until it comes to the point where people, when I see that the views are really dropping off from the 360 because the quality just isn't good enough, then I'll maybe stop. So Maverick's Drone, thanks very much for the £5 super chat there. I do appreciate that. It's off an icy, thank you. So to answer your question, Maverick's Drone, if I can I get that off? To answer your question, hold on a wee minute. Well, I haven't quite answered it yet, but I'm going to show you something now. I've been doing a bit of research, right? And the first thing I'll say is that this camera that I use, this is the Insta360 X3. That's not in focus there, is it? Wonder if I can get in focus if I switch cameras. Let me try. Wait a second. Let me try switching there and see. Right, so this is the Insta 360 X3. Right. Now there is a better one than this. Let me switch back to the other camera. There is a better one than this. It's the Insta R1, I think it's called. And it's a better camera, but it still doesn't produce 4K resolution. None of them do. Well, I say none of them do. Bear with me. The other one, I've looked at the quality, a comparison quality with the other one. This to buy today, it's been reduced in price. You can buy this for £408 today, right? Brand new. It's just been reduced. And it's been reduced because they're bringing out a brand new one. They haven't, I don't know the name yet. I'm on the mailing list for early access, but I haven't got any yet. They're bringing out a new one soon, which is supposed to be an 8K, right? But just remember, this is 5.7K. And when I post up to YouTube, the videos are only in 720. So with the 8K one, when it comes out, I may get 1080 out of it. I don't know. It depends on a lot of things, including, most importantly, what YouTube decide the maximum resolution of the video is going to be when I upload it. I've got no control over that. I can upload a video at 4K, but they may restrict it to 720, as they have done for some reason. I've looked at video comparisons with the sort of big brother. This one's got a big fat head, the R1 it's called, and it's over £800, so it's double the price of this one. And I've looked at 360 videos of the two, and there's if there's any quality difference, my old eyes can't see it. And I've got a really, really good top of the range 4K monitor here, one of the best, and I can't really see any difference there. So I did consider, should I think about maybe selling this and buying one of the R1s? and I decided not to because this new one's coming out on Monday, and it's an 8K one. Don't know what the price is. Don't know anything more than that. But I've had a look on the Insta website. Yeah, bear with me. I'm on medication, and things are very, very blurry at the moment for me. I'm trying my best, so bear with me. So bear in mind, this is a £408 camera, and I am doing my best to produce 360 videos that allow you to spin around and see the view. So let me show you a video now of a camera, an Insta camera that will do maybe not 4K, but it'll maybe do 2.7K footage. Let me flick over here. Hold on to get that full screen. Full screen. Let me go to the screen, and I hope it plays the sound. Right, watch this. Here we go. Can you hear that? Hear the video, the audio okay? Right, so that's enough of that. Let me stop that and come back. So that's a couple of clips of the type of a camera and drone that you need to get really high resolution video. Now I just noticed Cyril has said, not knocking you, Robert, but my pal has the same camera as you, and his footage on YouTube is a lot better. Cyril, I'd be really interested if you wouldn't mind asking your pal if he would email me. I'd love to have a chat with him about that, about if his footage is local, how is he doing it? Obviously, I want to be able to produce really, really good video for my viewers so that they get maximum enjoyment out of it. So if you could, if you could ask your pal if he wouldn't mind emailing me, we can maybe have a wee back and forth, maybe a wee chat about it. And also, could you link? I don't think you can put links into the chat just now. I think Mark is the only person that can do that. But if you could leave a comment, you can't leave links. Cyril, if I make you, can I make you I believe I can make you no, I thought I could make you a mod for a few minutes. No, I don't know how to do that. I was going to make you a mod for a few minutes so that you could post a link to your mate's channel in the chat, but I can't do it. But thanks, Cyril. If you get in touch with him and ask him if he wouldn't mind emailing me, my email address is, if anyone that doesn't know, windsweptrobert@gmail.com. That's my email address there. Because I have seen better quality 360 videos, but I haven't seen better quality 360 videos that you can spin around, that have a good music and audio track and things like that on it. I'm maybe doing something wrong. I probably am, because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm still experimenting, and I'm not very tech minded, says me, running a live stream with multiple things going on at the same time. But I'm still trying to find my feet. So it would be good if you could get him to do that. I'm going on and on about the same thing over here. There, that's a good one. Mark says, Cyril, what's the channel name? You can type the channel name in to the chat here, and that'll give us a wee chance to go and have a look at it. Right, there was a couple other questions I did see about this. Right, before I get to that, just in case there was something else I wanted to say before I lost track. I will, before I lost track, right, so here's a couple of wee things, right? So for anyone who thinks, I'd really love you, Robert, to have much, much better resolution and much better quality on the 360 videos, Insta 360 Pro 2, right? That'll do it. There's the price. £5,000, okay? £5,000, and it'll get you slightly better resolution, okay? The Titan from Insta 360 will get you much better resolution, and it's £15,000, okay? So that Insta do, and you can attach these to a drone, right? So you can there's a £5,000 one, £15,000 one. You can attach these to a drone, okay? And I'll get much better resolution. £408. That's what I'm using. So, you know, obviously it's not good. If Insta have cameras with much better quality at £5,000 and £15,000, I hardly think they're going to allow the same quality for £408, are they, realistically? So I can't afford a £5,000 camera or a £15,000 camera. But if anyone out there who has their own estate, who is it that said that they had their estate at the beginning? Angel Station said it's windy but sunny here. They started off to my estate, right? So anyone who has their own estate wants to buy me a £5,000 or a £15,000 camera, I'll produce much better videos. Having said that, maybe Cyril will get me in touch with his pal and I'll be able to improve the footage. Until then, I'm going to try my own wee tweaks and try to make it as good as I can with the little knowledge that I have. Right, let me have a wee look at. So Nick Cooper says the footage you can get at low level and at speed is fantastic. Not a fan of manual mode though. Oh, I take it this is on the Avata. Yeah. Aye. Nick also says that the Avata 1 was over 1200 with batteries and DJI released the 2. This is the problem you're always going to have with technology and particularly with DJI drones. If you wait for the next one, you'll always be waiting because the next one's always just coming out. You have to jump in at some point and buy one. You have to get one. And as long as you know that, probably in a year's time, there's going to be a much newer, much better one, probably for the same price that you paid a year ago. That's just the way things are. Nothing you can do. Right. Joshua Bardwell did a good review of the Avata 2. He told it like it is. Yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that there are some creators out there who are being honest. The few that I watched, I felt, there was a lot of edits, a lot of cuts, and nothing bad. Everything was good. So, I take it all with a little pinch of salt. Right, Walkabout 16 said hit the thumbs up. That's good. Aye, okay. Jay is getting the Matrice 350. Matrice 350. Is that a great big professional one or something, Jay? I don't know what that is. Is that a DJI one? I've got no idea. I'll look that up later. Whatever it is. Button Moon needs a Mini 4 Pro, needs active track. Got Mini 3 Fly More combo for sale. But you've got active track with the Mini 3. Well, with Mini 3 Pro. Maybe you don't have a Mini 3 Pro. Does the Mini 3 not have active track? I thought it did. You can get active track with the Mini 2 as long as you've got Litchi or Maven or the other ones that offer it. Nick Cooper downscaling, that's it. That's what I was looking for. Wait, that's not what I was talking about. They put a brake on it or something like that. It's another word for braking. But downscaling is right, yeah, they will. And compressing and reducing the bit rate, yeah. YouTube do that. Very, very annoying because I don't do it so much nowadays because YouTube compress and reduce the bit rate. But I used to spend an awful lot of time, a week sometimes, getting the best quality video on my editor that I possibly could. and then I'd upload it to YouTube, and it would still look okay, but compared to, the video that I had produced on my editor, it looked terrible. So I don't spend that much time on making them look as good as I possibly can now, because I know there's no point, because I think when you become much bigger, like Mr. Beast, for example, his videos are always going to look absolutely fantastic, because YouTube will push them out at the highest possible bitrate and make them look fantastic. But I think you have to become quite a big YouTuber before that happens, and it's never going to happen with me. So I have to work with what I've got, and this is what I've got. I hope I did answer your question as well as I could there. To reiterate, I'm doing the best I can with a £408 camera. If you want me to do better, get me the £5,000 camera or the £15,000 camera, and I'll do better for you. Russ T5 says, I think the next one, X4, is coming soon. Yeah, it's Monday. It's being released, I believe, on Monday, tomorrow. I don't know if they're calling it the X4 yet. I haven't actually seen that. But it is going to be 8K. But what does that mean? I mean, this is 5.7K. So just because it's 8K doesn't mean I'll get 4K quality. I would, if I can, it's a hard one. If I could get a hold of one and test it out, and I was reliably getting 1080 from YouTube, then I would get myself one. But I'm a bit worried about, because it's maybe going to be about £1,000. And I wouldn't like to outlay £1,000 for a camera that, when I eventually uploaded the video, ended up only being 720 again, like, because YouTube are, holding it, or restricting it, or breaking it, or whatever it is, whatever the word is. So it would be like, well, I could, they've been as well just doing it with this one. So I'll have to see if anyone gets one. Can I borrow it and have a shot of it? Right, I was going to talk a little bit about the editing process. I've got 20 minutes left, so I will talk a little bit about it. It's not quite as straightforward. Well, before I do it, just let me see if anyone's given me any questions or anything, made any comments. Scott, says, I love what you do, Robert. You represent most of us. Thanks, Scott. I believe I do. I'm just a normal guy like most of you here. I can buy some gear within my means and do what I can with it with my limited knowledge, just like all of us. We're all in the same boat. So thanks for saying that, Scott. I appreciate it. Russ says, I did some videos with my X2 and viewed them in the PlayStation VR. Good fun, but terrible quality. I've got the Meta Quest 3, and I have watched my 360 videos on that, and it's great. It's great fun, but you're right, Russ. The quality isn't great. It's not great. I wish it was better, and I'm working on it. I'm going to try it at 24 frames per second and see if that's going to help. Maybe if Cyril's pal gets in touch with me and he tells me, well, here's a couple of different ideas, I might get them better. However, whether I get the quality better or not, I'm going to persist, because most people are enjoying them. So I'm going to continue to make them, at least for the next, I'd say, 6 weeks anyway. I'll be putting out at least 4 videos per week, 2 pairs of videos per week. I'll do probably on a Friday and a Saturday. There'll be 2 pairs of vids come out for the next wee while anyway. And as I said, if I see that they're not getting any views, that means they're not popular, no one wants to watch them, then that's when I'll stop doing it. Right. I know, 15 grand. One's 5, the one's only 5. I was thinking of doing one of the, what do you call it? When you put never mind. I'm all over the place. Right. Central Scotland, it's a DJI Gravy Train. It is a bit, but the other thing is that technology is advancing so fast that, within a year, there are massive improvements in technology. So, DJI will use that massively improved technology, and it's not their fault that technology does advance so much within like a period of a year. Apple phones and watches and things are the same, you know, it's just the way it is. Wes says even in the US, there's about 15 minutes left to go. Right, okay, so that's me caught up with the comments there. If I'm missing anybody's comments like Andy's here, Andy Earshots, I think the 3650 is a great idea. That Insta is a brilliant bit of kit. Thanks, Andy. It's a great idea. It's just it's not meeting the same level of quality as you can get, particularly from a Mavic 3 with a Hasselblad camera. It's not meeting the same level of quality. Of course it's not. You can't expect to be able to spin the view about in 4K. You know, it's if that was the case, then everyone would be doing it. So I'm doing the best I can. Right. So let me talk just a little bit about the editing. And what I'll do is I'll flick over here in a minute. It's not quite as straightforward to upload a 360 video to YouTube. There are quite a few different things that you have to do, first of all, because firstly, the format that the 360 video is recorded in is it proprietary? Is that the word? To Insta. And it's not an MP4. It's called an LRV or something like that. So what you have to do first of all is, and I'll flick over to my other screen here. First of all, you have to have the Insta360 Studio, right? Oh, hold on, it jumped up to my other screen. Wait, I'll just move it if I can. Oh God, I can't move it. Right, bear with me. Why did it jump up there? I can't get. You can still hear me. I know that. The Insta360 Studio. Get down there. Oh, it nearly appeared. No, I can't get it to appear. Okay, never mind. Right, I'll flick back here. So there's a bit of software that comes with you can download it, and it's the Insta360 Studio. And it's a video editor for 360 videos. So there's multiple different ways of uploading a 360, of editing and uploading a 360 video. You have to use that you don't have to use that editor, right? You can use Final Cut Pro or any of the other editors, and you can load your video in there and edit it. But what you end up with is an edited 360 video. Now, I posted a few of those on the channel last summer, and it was basically I had this mounted on the roof of my car, and I just drove along, and then later on in post I would sit down and spin the video and decide what view you were going to see, right? So I could spin anywhere in post. And that's fine. But if I want to enable you as the viewer to be able to spin the view, it's a slightly different process. So you have to load the video into the Insta360 Studio and then convert it using the Studio to convert it into an MP4, which you can then load into your editor. I use Final Cut. You can do it in any of the editors. So you can then load it into your editor, add on a music track, add on some narration, add on any other wee clips and bits and bobs, and then you can render it and then upload it. So there's a lot of processes there, and each of those processes takes a massive amount of time, because these files, right, for a 10-minute video, the files are between 12 and 18 gigabytes in size. Right. Now, if you have to, first of all, upload it to the Insta360 Studio, that takes a bit of time. Converting it can take anywhere from an hour to 12 hours to just convert to an MP4. Then once you've got your MP4, you can load it into your studio, which I use Final Cut Pro, your video editing studio, right? Create your video, put all the edits in you want, and then render it. And that can take another 4 or 5 or 6 hours. And then once that's done, you upload it to YouTube. That can take another 4, 5, 6 hours, depending on the size of the video, the length of the video, the bit rate of the video, and I use the highest bit rate I possibly can to try and get the best quality, and your internet connection. So you could be looking at, and this, what I've been doing is I've been filming at the weekends, maybe going out on a Saturday and going out on possibly sometimes on a Sunday. I didn't today, but going out on a Saturday, making a video, and then it's taken me until maybe the Wednesday or the Thursday before, and that's working every single night after work just to get it uploaded. That's because the video files are huge. So that's the amount of work that goes into it. And I wanted to actually show you the edit. It's a very simple editor and a very good editor, the Insta Studio 361. It's got some great wee features on it. But you can't add music. You can't add transitions and things like that. You can only basically chop the video up, make cuts in the video. That's it. That's all you can do with it. Although it's very easy to do, it's very user-friendly. But to get all of the extra things that you usually see in my videos, a bit of music, me talking, doing some narration, maybe another camera view of me standing there with my back to the camera, whatever, you have to do in another editor. You can't do it in the Insta360 one. So there's a huge process. So if anyone's thinking of doing this, right, be aware that there's a lot of time involved and a lot of work involved in it, right? Just to make a 6 minute 6 minute video can take you, almost a week working every night at it to do it because of the time it takes to do everything. So please be aware of that. And of course, the initial cost for this one, £408. However, I think I'm one of the only YouTubers that's doing this at least on a regular basis. So there's always that. But there's no point me being one of the very few or even only YouTuber doing something if nobody's interested in it. So I have to make sure that I can see that people are interested in it, so that I keep doing it. Right, okay. Walkabout's asking, how fast is your upload speed, Robert? It's very slow, very slow. I live away out in the sticks, and my studio is also away out in the sticks. My upload speed, if I'm lucky, if I'm very lucky, I can get 20 megabytes per second. I don't even want to test and see where it's at just now. Can I actually see it if I see the stream health? My stream status is excellent. It's not telling me exactly what my speed is here, but I'll get between 8 and 12 megabytes per second up. Down, I'll get between 40 and 60. That's about it. I don't have fibre broadband out here in the sticks, and there are no plans to bring it in at any point in the future. None. So that for me is the final part of the process, me uploading to YouTube. That's the final part, but that's not what takes the longest. Actually, I mean, for a 6.5 minute video, I can have it uploaded in about 5 or 6 minutes, depending on what time of the day or night that I upload it. I mean, if I set it to upload, say at 3 in the morning, it can be done by 3:10 in the morning. So the uploading part isn't the problem, because I can have it to do overnight. It's all of the other the things that take time, the processing of each stage of the video, that there's nothing I can do. Once I, like for example, when I load in the 360 footage that I took when this was dangling from the drone, when I upload that into my Insta360 Studio, it takes seconds to load in. It loads in no time. But then to convert it, that can take, as I said, it can take anything up for an hour to 12 hours, depending on the size and the bitrate that I use. So while that's happening, I can't do it. There's nothing else I can do. I can't say, well, while that's happening, I'll do some work on Final Cut with the video, because I don't have the video yet. So that's a period where I can't. There's nothing I can do at all. What I do in that situation is I work on the 4K video from the drone camera itself. I do that, so at least I'm doing something. But until that process is complete, there's nothing I can do. And it's the same once that process is completed, and I then take that the converted MP4 and put it into Final Cut to add in the music, add in the narration, add in all the wee bits and bobs that I add to my videos. Once I've done all of that, and then it has to render. And once again, there's nothing I can do while that process is happening. So I just have to wait. Okay, Paul Taylor says, imagine how big those files would be if it was in 4K. Exactly. You know, it's in 1080, right? What's 1080 is is it a quarter the size, or is it even more than that? Is it exponential? I don't know how it works. But yeah, if it was 4K, it would be, I mean, it would just take weeks and weeks and weeks. It wouldn't be feasible. Stevie, thanks for that. I wasn't going through that process to ask for anyone's appreciation, although I do appreciate you appreciating me, but I wasn't going through that process for that reason. It was just because the reason that I thought I had to make that fairly clear tonight is that a lot of people are very interested in doing that. And a lot of people, because I get messages and emails and in my Discord channel, I'm chatting with people all the time in private messages, and a lot of people seem to be under the impression that all you need, we just need to go and buy one of these, 408 quid. That's all right. It's a nice outlay, bam, and then suddenly you've got 360 videos. But it's not as simple as that. That might be the only financial outlay you have. Well, I've actually got two spare batteries for this. The batteries last a good long time, but I carry two spare batteries. And then the card, you need at least a 256 gigabyte card, because the size of the files are huge. So there's not a huge outlay, 400-500 quid. But it's not as simple as that. And I did want to make it clear to anyone who thinks I'll just go and get one and that'll be me. There's a lot of work involved. It's not work that you can't do. You're not capable of doing. You're probably very capable of doing it. It's just that the time that it takes for these things to automatically happen are huge, you know. And maybe a lot of people didn't understand, didn't know that, and thought it's a simple case, like one of those bang, well, hey, I've got a 360 video to stick on YouTube. If only it were as simple as that. And the biggest thing is I'm repeating myself, but the biggest pain for me is that YouTube only put it out at 720. I think one of them they put out at 1080, but when they restricted to 720, it's like, oh man. My viewers want to watch my footage on a big telly, and that's going to look terrible. It looks great on a wee phone. Even the 720 looks great on a wee phone, but on a big 55, 65, 75-inch TV, it looks terrible. So that's my biggest thing at the moment. Anyway, I can't believe I've waffled on for almost an hour. Let me have a wee look at the last bit of your comments. Mark is saying that there's a rumour talk of an all-out ban in DJI and TikTok, but it'll never happen. No, it'll never happen. Too many people are getting too many kickbacks, so no, it's never going to happen. Paul hates video editing. It takes far too long. Actually, Paul, a lot of people that I speak to, they hate the video editing. It's actually one of my favourite. It is my favourite part. I prefer the video editing to going out and flying, because it's in the studio and it's in the editing studio where the story happens. That's where you create the story. Because until you do that, you've just got a bunch of footage. Right? You've just got a flight over some land and some castle and a loch and some hills and some clouds, and that's all you've got. When you sit down in your editings, that's when the story happens. That's when it comes alive. That's when you can put in your sound effects and your music to match, and you can make all the emotional stuff. So I love it. I love doing the video editing. I know it's not everybody's bag, but it's mine. I love it. Right. There we go. Scott's off to watch the Masters. Andy says he loves it, and I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not there, Andy, but I actually do. I do love the editing process, and that's why it's very frustrating for me when I'm converting a 360 video so that I can do my editing. When I know it's going to take me hours and hours, it's going to be hours and hours and hours before I get that footage into my editor. It's like really frustrating because I'm like, come on, I want to make the story, and I have to wait. Right, okay, so that's it. Mick, thanks. That it's a kidney infection. I'm on antibiotics and painkillers. Should go away soon, hopefully. I'm going to finish up now with 45 seconds left, so you can go and watch the International Drone Seekers if you want. And all going well, I'll see you next week. Thanks for being with me. Thanks for the super chat there, Mick. I do appreciate it. And I'll see you all next week. Cheerio then.